Well, Blake Lively has been handed her first big loss in her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, and frankly, it is entirely her own fault, or more precisely, the fault of her legal team.
But some of those text messages might.
Did you break out of prison?
Will you be my maid of honor?
You think I want to make you pay?
I don't know, do you?
Hold on to your seats because Hollywood's sweetheart, Blake Lively, has just been caught in the middle of a scandal that no one saw coming. Reports are swirling that the actress was visibly panicked in court as new witnesses stepped forward, bringing jaw-dropping allegations to light.
New video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni showed unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
And Blake Lively's witnesses are rumored to be scared to testify. They're saying they're afraid that the public is going to bully them, at least that coming from Blake Lively's camp. Others say that they are being blackmailed into testifying by Blake Lively.
Naked truths aren't always pretty.
But Blake Lively's out for truths in her It Ends With Us lawsuit. So much so, the actress added an ex-CIA agent to her legal team.
We love our job and we love our work and we take it very, very seriously.
Oh, it's serious. Blake enlisting Nick Shapiro, the agency's former deputy chief of staff turned PR powerhouse. This after getting dealt a major blow in her court fight with Justin Baldoni.
What exactly is going on? Is Blake truly involved in something shady, or is she the victim of a calculated takedown?
So Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department and then a complaint in federal court in New York. Justin Baldoni says Blake Lively was the root of the problems, that she wanted to take over control of the production and she intentionally made false allegations, hoping she could edge him out of his own movie. And it worked, according to Baldoni. He said Blake Lively is the one who orchestrated the smear campaign against him and not the other way around. Baldoni sued Blake Lively in federal court in New York, and the two cases, Blake Lively's case against Justin Baldoni's case against Blake Lively, have been consolidated into one case. And there are lots of defendants, lots of plaintiffs, lots of counterclaim plaintiffs and defendants.
Blake Lively had changed some stuff up in her amended complaint. Now she is describing that dancing scene very differently than she did in her first complaint. There was a post on X from Legal Bites who noticed this, and they made kind of a big deal about it.
Adding another layer to the drama, actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni has been linked to the case, sparking questions about whether he has insider knowledge or if his own involvement in Hollywood's power dynamics has led to unexpected consequences.
Okay, so I was able to read the amended complaint, which, by the way, it's very abnormal. It's almost 180 pages, 400 and some odd paragraphs. Complaints are not normally that long, but this one has to be for public consumption. And I boiled it down to 4 main points. So if you were to believe her allegations, they kind of, everything she says kind of fits into one of these 4 points in my mind. So number one, both Baldoni and Heath are creeps, and so there's a lot of allegations about how just creepy they are, per her complaint. Number two, the SH has nothing to do with taking over the movie, even though she doesn't deny that she took over the movie. Of course, it'd be probably impossible to do that, but she's trying to separate out the SH from the movie takeover. Number three, we are all dupes. So you're a sucker, we're suckers. Everybody on the internet that's talking about this are suckers because we've all been suckered in by the astroturfing, which I didn't even know what that term meant until the amended complaint. So apparently that's when people leave fake comments from fake accounts.
I think that was in the original complaint too, but it is a new term to me as well.
Yeah. So anyway, that number three is we're all dupes. And number four, the smear campaign designed by Baldoni's team was intended to derail the SH claims that Lively brought later in time, which seems a little odd to me because her bad press came in early August, and yet the complaint to the CRD didn't happen till December 20th. But her claim is that this whole elaborate scheme to smear her came about because Baldoni knew that she was going to be filing this complaint with the CRD.
We're diving deep into the latest developments, the court drama, and what this could mean for Blake, Justin, and Hollywood itself. Buckle up, because this is about to get messy.
Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer now their names are kind of leaked. It was in a Hollywood Reporter article that I saw this morning that their names were there. Sources are claiming it's them. So now, as I noticed as well, Jenny Slate is getting a lot of heat on Instagram, and I saw that Isabel Ferrer closed off her comment section.
This was first in the form of a CRD, a Civil Rights Department complaint, before it matured into an actual federal lawsuit.
Before we break down Blake's tense courtroom moment, let's rewind a little.
And so the more time we got to spend with Blake Lively, the less we liked her, the more her promotional efforts for a film about domestic violence felt off. She was full of giggles and laughter and wanted to promote her liquor brand. Nothing says domestic violence like a bottle of tequila. What? So it felt weird, and she started to get hit by some in the media for being insensitive. Then this one reporter re-upped a video in which she interviewed a then pregnant Blake, a then 8-month pregnant Blake, and kicked off the interview as you would do as a journalist if there's something obviously different about somebody physically, by saying, "Oh, you have such a cute baby bump." And Blake was taken aback, even though it was obvious, and said, "Oh, so do you." The reporter was not pregnant. It was a nasty jibe at her for no reason.
Sources close to the case suggest that this lawsuit could have massive implications for both Blake and the entertainment industry as a whole.
She accused him of making very inappropriate comments, very inappropriate actions against her, all sorts of things. Like I said, the world was shocked and everyone was buzzing about it. So many people jumped to conclusions based on that lawsuit alone. I'll be honest, now Blake Lively is not the most popular person in many groups throughout popular culture, and it's just because some of her past history of odd or not so pleasant exchanges that have been publicly known.
While the exact charges have been kept tightly under wraps, leaks hint at accusations of financial misconduct, secret business dealings, and possible ties to high-stakes money laundering. Wait, what? Blake Lively, a name we associate with red carpet glam, designer gowns, and iconic movie roles, is now being linked to financial crimes. That's a plot twist no one expected.
On February 18th, Blake Lively's legal team filed an amended complaint against Baldoni and the other Wayfarer parties. She makes a number of changes, including adding some parties and some causes of action, and she changes what she alleges about some of the events that occurred on set.
But here's where things get even crazier. The case had been progressing quietly until several new witnesses stepped up with allegedly damning evidence. Evidence that could change everything.
We knew this was going to happen. The timing of it is a different question. The timing of this is something else, because we knew from Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, that they were planning on launching a website that would list more text messages and purported evidence in this ongoing legal feud between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And this is, of course, after Lively filed her lawsuit against Baldoni and his production company and others, including a PR specialist and crisis management expert. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, said that they would release every single text message between Baldoni and Lively, and that they would launch a website including all of the correspondence. And it appears they did just that. On Saturday, February 1st, a website was launched, www.thelawsuitinfo.com, and it contains 2 giant PDF files. So one is an amended complaint in this case from Baldoni. It is 224 pages, longer than the original 179-page complaint.
Usually one side will ask for whatever they can, but there will be pushback.
The pushback handed down by a judge last week. In docs obtained by ET, Blake's subpoena for Justin's phone records going back 2 years was called overly intrusive, limiting the window to their time together behind the scenes.
Now, here's where things take a turn for the unexpected. Justin Baldoni's name has surfaced in connection to the case.
They want it, don't give it to them.
Definitely, each party wants to get as much information as possible and make this process as burdensome as possible for the other side. Any piece of evidence could certainly aid Blake Lively's claims, but not everything is relevant and not everything is evidence. So 2.5 years of innocuous text messages do not seem to support her underlying claims, but some of those text messages might.
She claims that Baldoni and others engaged in misconduct on set, including harassment, whether that be allegedly improvising intimate scenes, allegedly fat shaming her, allegedly inappropriately discussing sex and pornography, allegedly violating protocols in place for scenes, and there's a lot more. And then she claims when she voiced these concerns, she alleges that Baldoni and his team devised a smear campaign against her, using the press and digital manipulation to turn public sentiment against her, both online and in the media. So she sued him, his production company, Wayfarer Studios, as I mentioned, his PR rep, a crisis management specialist, expert, Wayfarer executives, and others.
For those unfamiliar, Justin Baldoni isn't just an actor. He's a filmmaker, a producer, and someone deeply invested in creating a more ethical Hollywood. He has been vocal about systemic issues in the industry, advocating for change and accountability.
So he optioned this book called It Ends With Us, and it's about domestic violence. And he managed to get Blake Lively to star in his movie across from him. He played the abusive guy and she played the woman. And this is the thrill of a lifetime for this guy. You know, he had done another TV project, but nobody knows who he is. So he gets Blake Lively. She's married to Ryan Reynolds. These are Hollywood A-listers. He's gonna put him on the map. And she agrees to be his female co-star. Great, they're off to the races. Well, shortly into production, Blake Lively is very dissatisfied with virtually everything around her and decides to allege that Justin Baldoni, forgive me, very effeminate, evolved, modern feminist man bun kind of guy, is like this virulent harasser who can't stop harassing one of the biggest stars in Hollywood in front of everybody on the set. I've got questions. I'm not sure why he would do that, whether he'd have the guts to do that, or whether the man bun is the most likely harasser in general.
You know, I think every day Blake Lively is not wanting to be Blake Lively. I think she even wants to back out of this because it's become so cringy at this point.
So why is his name coming up now? Some insiders believe Justin might have been a key figure in uncovering or exposing these shady dealings.
Remember that Justin's team released this raw, unedited video of a dancing scene. It was actually B-roll that they used in the movie. Where, they weren't using their audio. It was just to show them in this cozy dance scene. There was some arguing between them about what's the best way to shoot it and this and the other.
How they look, yeah.
So some fans have noticed that there are a lot of camera angles there that look very familiar and that Blake Lively would certainly know.
As Justin Baldoni did before her, Blake Lively recently, just last week, filed a first amended complaint. This was highly anticipated since her lawyers recently told the court that they were planning to amend their complaint to add parties and claims because of, quote, new facts and claims that they learned since filing their original complaint. There are actually some claims that Lively has made that Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties might need to be concerned about. Lively's strongest claims in her lawsuit are quite possibly the retaliation claim and the failure to investigate claim. Of course, as is the case with every lawsuit out there, it comes down to what the evidence actually shows, but based on her allegations, it looks to me like these are likely her strongest ones at the moment. Part of that has to do with just how easy or difficult these various claims are to prove.
Others speculate that his production company or philanthropic ventures may have intersected with the same financial networks, now under scrutiny.
It is now a consolidated action, meaning that Baldoni's lawsuit against Lively and Ryan Reynolds in the New York Times and her suit against him will all be joined together as one. This was approved by the court.
Could this mean that Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were once connected behind the scenes? Were they unwittingly caught up in something bigger? Or is Justin a whistleblower, trying to shine a light on the corruption that Blake might be tangled in?
So she says he's been harassing her, and they bring in some team, and he says, whatever you want, I will do it or not do it, you tell me. So they go forward. Well, we move forward in the story, and she's got to go do PR for the film. And she goes out in the summer, this past summer, and she had about 2 minutes of bad PR. The problem for Blake Lively, in my opinion, is that she does not improve upon acquaintance.
Either way, Hollywood insiders are watching closely, because if Baldoni is involved in any capacity, it suggests that this case isn't just about Blake. It's about a larger web of industry power plays.
Friedman told CNN in a statement on Saturday the decision to amend our lawsuit was a logical next step due to the overwhelming amount of new proof that has come to light.
Multiple eyewitness reports from the courtroom paint the same picture. Blake Lively, usually poised and confident, was anything but calm. Sources claim that as the new witnesses took the stand, Blake's expression changed from composed to utterly distressed.
Justin Baldoni's attorneys following through on a promise.
We're going to put it out there for the public to decide for themselves.
Releasing raw tape showing some of what happened on the set of It Ends With Us. It's the latest move in a Hollywood battle royale between Baldoni, his PR team, and his co-star, Blake Lively. In the sound from the recording, you can hear the two talking to each other. At one point, Blake even commenting on the size of Baldoni's nose.
I feel so nosy.
I know.
Noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
Lively's team responding to the video saying Justin Baldoni and his lawyer may hope that this latest stunt will get ahead of the damaging evidence against him, but the video itself is damning. Every frame of the released footage corroborates to the letter what Miss Lively described in her complaint. The video shows Miss Lively leaning away and repeatedly asking for the characters to just talk.
Some reports even suggest that she was seen whispering frantically to her legal team, while others claim she was on the verge of tears.
Blake Lively's in the news. TMZ says, of course witnesses are staying anonymous. They're terrified of threats and bullying. Blake says she has people to corroborate her complaints against Justin Baldoni, and while JB and his team want them to reveal their names, there's one major reason they aren't. They're terrified of receiving the same treatment as the A-list couple. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ it shouldn't come as a surprise that the two cast members from It Ends With Us who will testify in support of Blake are hiding their identities because they don't want to deal with the abuse like Blake and her husband Ryan Reynolds are receiving.
But here's where it gets even wilder. One journalist present in the courtroom reported that Blake suddenly requested a break mid-hearing, stepping out for a few moments to regain her composure.
There's always friction that happens when you make a movie like this.
this ends with me. I'm done. I'm tired.
Less than 12 hours after Justin filed, Blake's legal team doubled down, calling the bombshell $400 million lawsuit another chapter in the abuser playbook. The strategy of attacking the woman is desperate, and it will fail.
Now, some fans are rushing to her defense, saying that this emotional reaction doesn't mean guilt, just shock. But others argue that her visible panic suggests that these new witnesses might have something truly damaging against her. So who are these mystery witnesses that have thrown this case into chaos?
Our sources say that Steve Sarowitz, a partner in Wayfair Studios, allegedly compared his retaliatory plan to Israel's campaign against Hamas, plus his willingness to empty coffers to take them down would rattle anyone, especially those just getting started in the industry.
Insiders claim that the new testimonies came from individuals with direct ties to Blake's business dealings, including former employees, business associates, and even a former close friend who has since distanced themselves from her.
It comes down to the hard evidence, which in this case are going to be text messages, emails, and certainly witness testimony as to what really happened here.
Among the dozens of receipts in Justin's suit, a text exchange in which Blake refers to herself as Game of Thrones Khaleesi, calling husband Ryan Reynolds and bestie Taylor, quote, my dragons who protect those I fight for, adding, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
Leaks suggest that these witnesses provided emails and text messages allegedly discussing undisclosed financial transactions, paper trails leading to offshore accounts tied to high-profile names, first-hand accounts of behind-the-scenes dealings that, if true, could implicate Blake in a much larger scheme. But there's another twist. Some sources claim that these witnesses may have been incentivized to testify, possibly as part of a larger effort to bring Blake down.
And then there is the second PDF on the website, and it is entitled Timeline of Relevant Events. Now, to be clear about this is Baldoni's version. This is Baldoni's side, right? These are his claims, his allegations of the series of events. However, these files provide a lot more purported material in this story that we need to go through. And to be clear, there are things in this timeline that are more specific or not laid out per se in the amended complaint, but they could very well be used at an upcoming trial if this goes to trial. It's currently scheduled for March 2026.
So is she actually guilty of wrongdoing, or is she just another Hollywood target caught in the crossfire?
Normal people at home who don't care about this woman at all are looking at her like, I don't like her. She seems like a bully.
As I already mentioned, this legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has captured headlines everywhere.
One thing is certain, Hollywood is on edge. This case isn't just about Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni, it's about the larger battle over power, money, and accountability in an industry that has long operated behind closed doors.
And they say, well, this is why they didn't reveal their names, because Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, blasted the whole complaint as hearsay from people who were clearly no longer willing to come forward or publicly support her claims.
One fan said, Blake Lively has always been one of the most genuine stars in Hollywood. There's no way she's involved in this mess. Another wrote, if these new witnesses have real evidence, Blake better start talking. No one's untouchable in Hollywood anymore.
First of all, she was asking for records that date back to 2002, which, by the way, a full year before they started even filming. So, I think she thinks the conspiracy went way before they even filmed. But also, the problem is, she was asking for all phone records, and the judge rightfully pointed out, you know what, you can't do that. He's got phone calls between his wife, it may be his therapist. It would violate so many privacy laws, and it was just really ridiculous. So, he said no, that was kind of a setback for her.
Meanwhile, the media frenzy is growing. Headlines scream, Blake Lively's courtroom breakdown, what she doesn't want you to know. Justin Baldoni and the Hollywood corruption scandal. How deep does it go? As we wait for more shocking revelations, one thing is clear, this story is far from over.
The request said all documents concerning ingoing and outgoing calls or text messages related to telephone number, the number's redacted, belonging to, the first one, Justin Baldoni, within the time period of December 1st, 2022 to the present, including but not limited to call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location information. So just to get a sense of how incredibly broad this is, they were asking for everything the phone company kept, which if they kept the actual text messages, they were asking for that. They were asking for call logs, text logs, and all cell site location data for 2.5 years. So that for 2.5 years, they would be able to follow exactly where Justin Baldoni's phone went.
All right, now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you believe Blake is guilty, or is she being targeted unfairly? What do you think about Justin Baldoni's connection? Will this scandal completely ruin Blake's career, or will she bounce back stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.